Episode 6. Matthew attended his brother Michael's funeral in the small town where they had grown up. Stewartville had not changed. The road into town was the same. The houses leaned in the same angles. The church bell sounded exactly as it had, though now it rang for the reason Matthew had hoped never to hear. His father looked worse than he had last time Matthew saw him, older, thinner, as if something essential had been set down and not picked up again. He stood through the service, but his hands shook when they removed his hat. Michael had been given the full Navy funeral. The uniformed men moved with practiced precision. Flags were folded cleanly. Words were spoken that had been spoken many times before. They could have been spoken many times before. There was only a cenotaph. Michael's body was still aboard the ship. The ocean had claimed him instead. The paper said buried at sea, as if this phrasing could make his absence easier to accept. Matthew stared at the marker where his brother should have stood. It was strange how little space death required when there was nothing left behind. Afterward, people spoke softly, hands were shaken, casseroles appeared, grief was expressed in the familiar shapes. Stewartville knew how to do this. It had been doing it for 50 years. Matthew stayed close to his parents. He did not talk much. He was not here to clarify. That night, his childhood room, he folded his clothing neatly and packed his bag. There was no return to campus. No next term, no familiar lecture halls. Matthew was not going back to college. Instead, there would be something else. A place not marked on maps, a place described only as desert. Instructions that had been plainly and without embellishment, departure times, what to bring, what not to ask. In the morning, he stood on the porch and looked down for the last time. The diner was closed at that hour. The radio somewhere would already be talking. His father clasped his shoulders. His mother held him longer than she meant to. Matthew did not tell them what he would be working on. He only said that it mattered, and he left Stewartville behind, carrying what he knew and what would be lost, towards a place that would be plain to use.